Welcome to Sri Chaitanya. Welcome to JE Max, Season 2 of JE Max. Yeah, as I said earlier, through Season 2 in JE Max, we are completely concentrating on a particular chapter, which is very, very important for the entire JE Mains, advanced, and even for board examinations also. So far, successfully, we have completed 39 lessons. This is lesson number 40. And from this lesson onwards, we are concentrating the last content of the complex numbers, nothing but De Moivre's theorem. Okay, my friends, again, I'm requesting all of you, please check the description box. There I am providing all the links of previous 39 lessons. And along with that, I am providing very good assignments, and they are very, very important for you. Actually, here every minute concept of the complex number that we have completely concentrated through these lessons. So be careful, and all the lessons are very, very important for you. Okay. Now, in complex numbers, lesson number 40, today we are concentrating on De Moivre's theorem. Of that, we are concentrating the definition of the De Moivre's theorem and the geometrical interpretation of n roots of a complex number. Now, coming to De Moivre's theorem. See that the statement is like this. If n is a integer, whether it is a positive integer or a negative integer, if it is an integer, then cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n is equal to cos n theta plus I sin n theta. So, whenever cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n, so this is, it looks like what? A binomial theorem. Why it is called a theorem? Because of n. If it is a positive integer, obviously you should get what? N plus 1 terms. That's why it is what? A theorem. And the resultant of this cos theta plus I sin theta is nothing but you just multiply that integer to the corresponding angle of cos and sin. That is cos n theta plus I sin n theta. This is just De Moivre's theorem. Okay. This is also called De Moivre's theorem for integral index. Okay. Suppose if n is a negative integer, don't worry, cos of minus n theta plus sin of minus n theta, it comes. That's why here I am giving some of the basic notes for you. So cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n is equal to cos n theta plus I sin n theta. Cos theta minus I sin theta whole power n is equal to cos n theta minus I sin n. Just you multiply the power to the angle. That's all. The power to the angle. The remaining signs and everything are the same. And similarly, cos theta plus I sin theta whole power minus n is equal to minus n into theta. Cos of minus n into theta is cos minus n theta. That is cos n theta. And plus I into sin of minus n into theta is sin minus n theta. Sin minus n theta is equal to sin of minus n theta is equal to minus n sin theta. Sorry, minus of sin n theta. That's why here minus comes. Similarly, cos theta plus I sin theta whole power minus n is equal to the same thing, cos n theta. Here minus I sin minus n theta. Sin minus n theta is equal to minus sin n, minus of sin n theta. Minus and minus becomes plus. That's why if both the powers are positive, you will get plus. If any one of them is plus and minus, then you will get minus in between sin and cos. Okay, this is the simple way to remember the formula. Proof is also very simple. With the help of mathematical induction, we can also prove the theorem. That means we can prove the theorem for n is equal to 1. And we can assume that the theorem is true for n is equal to k, and we will prove that statement is true for n is equal to k plus 1. Hence, by mathematical induction, we can conclude the theorem like this. So, here proof is not necessary for you. Just you try to understand the concept of binomial De Moivre's theorem. Okay, my friends. Now, coming to the nth roots of the complex number. Here it is very, very important. Suppose z is equal to x plus iy is any complex number, then z power 1 by n. This indicates what the nth roots of the complex number. That is x plus iy whole power 1 by n. Whenever they are asking to find the nth roots of the complex number, first immediately you write the polar form of the complex number and whole power 1 by n. So whenever they are asking you to find the roots of the complex number, whatever it may be, suppose if it is in the polar form or mod m form, there is no problem. Otherwise, for in general any x plus iy complex number is given for you. You first write that as in polar form, that is r into cos theta plus I sin theta whole power 1 by n. You write it, where r is equal to root of x square plus y square, and theta is equal to tan inverse of y by x. And theta is what? Argument or amplitude, and r is what? That is modulus of the complex number whole power 1 by n. Actually, so z power 1 by n is equal to r into cos theta plus I sin theta whole power 1 by n. And here, actually in a theorem, what is that? You are just multiplying that power to the corresponding angle. Whereas if it is other than integer, suppose in place of the power, if other than integer is given for you, then in the place of theta, you write its general value. That is if you add 2k pi to the amplitude and you just multiply that angle with 1 by n. So it becomes what? R power 1 by n cos of 2k pi plus theta by n plus I sin 2k pi plus theta by n. This also I can write it as r power 1 by n into cis 2k pi plus theta by n, where k is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 here, k is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. So if I have substituted k is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1, how many roots I may get? N roots. That's why this is the way to find the n roots of the complex number. That's why z power 1 by n. So based on the power in the denominator, you will get that number of roots for any of the complex number having this kind of form. Okay, and moreover, the orientation of these n roots, it is very essential. That geometrical interpretation is very important for us, because based on that you may learn several other things. So whenever nth roots of the complex number, they are asking you to find the nth roots of the complex number, whatever it may be the complex number is given for you, you just write in the polar form first. Then you add theta with 2k pi. That means general value of theta, you write it. And you multiply now the power to that angle, that becomes cos of 2k pi plus theta by n plus I sin 2k pi plus theta by n. Therefore, k is equal to what? 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. This is the way to find what? Nth roots of the complex number. This is very important, and it is very important not only for board examinations, for all competitive examinations also. Okay, how can we imagine all these roots, where they located in organoid plane? That is important. Okay, let us see. Now, the geometrical interpretation of all these n roots, now I am giving it some brief explanation. Actually, my friends, all these roots are situated corresponding to the complex number. They located on the circumference of the circle with the phase difference as 2 pi by n. That I will tell. See, all the nth roots of the complex number z is equal to r cis theta. What is that? R into cos theta plus I sin theta. They have all same modulus. So if a complex number having n roots, all the n roots have the same modulus. That is one important point. And all these n roots lie on the circle. On which circle? With the center as origin and radius as r power 1 by n. So you imagine a circle. Which kind of circle? Center as origin and radius as 1 by n. And on the circumference of the circle, you locate all the n roots. So they may be situated like this. See. So I may get what? A polygon of n vertices. So this is one root. I can say A1. This is another root. I can say A2. This is another root. I can say A3. This is another root. I can say A4, and so on. This is an minus 1. And this is what? My an. So all these roots are situated, or they are occupied the correspond and the circumference of the circle, and this they located on what? A circle with the center as origin and radius as what? R power 1 by n. And the angle between each, this A1 and A2 is 2 pi by n. Similarly, A2 by A3, this is also 2 pi by n. This is also 2 pi by n. This is also 2 pi by n. All are equal. That means what? Suppose if it is origin O, then OA1, A2 is what? An isosceles triangle. Because here these two sides are, it is not the equilateral triangle. It is what? An isosceles triangle. Okay, so that's why this angle as well as this angle, they are same. Okay, and based on this we can find several other results also. Okay, so listen very carefully. And what are the nature of these roots also? With help of this explanation, you will get the complete idea. So all these roots, they situated on the circle with the center as origin and radius r power 1 by n. Also, amplitudes of these n roots are in AP. That is very, very important. Amplitudes of these n roots. So that is A1, A2, A3. If you are finding the amplitudes, all are what? In AP with the common difference 2 pi by n. That is important. Okay. And hence, they are equispaced on the circumference of the circle. And they are the vertices of the n-sided of the regular polygon. So, based on that information only, okay, suppose if I have got all the n roots, then if you have observed the nature of all n roots, first point is modulus of all n roots are same. What is the geometrical interpretation of modulus? How far it is from origin. So, if all roots are modulus of each and every nth root is same, then that means what? You imagine a center, origin, and you imagine the points which are at a distance of r power 1 by n from center, which is origin. And moreover, the angle between all these n roots, they with the common difference as 2 pi by n. So, if you are under imagination, if you are looking the roots, so all the roots are situated what? Simply an organed plane surround at r power 1 by distance, and they situated on a circumference of the circle. That means if I have completely plotted all the points, I may get a locus. That locus is formed a circle, and they should nothing but they may appear as vertices of a regular polygon of n sides. So that is the important point here. One should remember. So whenever nth roots of the complex number you are going to find, suppose if n roots are there, then all the n roots are situated on the circumference of the circle, or they may act as a regular polygon of n-sided, and of which its center as origin and radius as r power 1 by n, and the common difference as what? To 2 pi by n. Okay. And moreover, my friends, with help of this triangle, we can find the area of this triangle and how many triangles are formed. N triangles may be formed. So based on that, you may get the area of the regular polygon, and moreover, length of these sides. Everything we can establish just with the help of this small diagram. So again, that points I am again explaining to you. See the diagram once again. So this is the way all these n roots are located on the circumference of the circle like this. Okay, this is the angle between. This is the angle between the corresponding complex numbers, and this is same for all. So the side of the polygon. This is what the side. This is what side. So we know what is called by properties of triangles by sine rule. A by sine A is equal to 2r. That is A is what? A equal to 2r sine A. So 2 into r means r power 1 by n. Sine A means sine 2 pi by n. This is with the help of this formula, you can write the side of the polygon like this. So this is one of the formula. Whenever the angle between the sides is known to you and the radius of the circle is known to you, immediately you can write the side of the polygon with the formula as what? 2r power 1 by n sine 2 pi by n. This we can derive from the sine rule of properties of the triangle, from properties of triangle. And moreover, suppose a triangle is given for you, then ABC is a triangle given for you. And if you know the sides of the triangle are like this is about B, this is about C, and this is A, then what is the formula of area? Half BC sin A. This is half BC sin A. That means half into product of the two sides into sine angle between the sides. Okay. Similarly, this is r power 1 by n, half into r power 1 by n into r power 1 by n into sine of 2 pi by n. Like that, how many triangles are there? That is, n triangles are there. If I am adding all these n triangles, I will get what? Area of the polygon. So that is n by 2 r power 2 by n sine of 2 pi by n. Clear? This is about what? Area of the polygon. And coming to perimeter of the polygon. That means perimeter means what? A1. Suppose this is A1, this is A2, and this is A3, and this is A4. What is A1 plus A1 A2 plus A2 A3 plus A3? Like that. That means I know the side of this polygon. If I wanted to find the perimeter, add all the n sides. Therefore, it becomes what? 2n r power 1 by n sine 2 pi by n. It is what? Perimeter of the polygon. So with the help of the simple diagram, we extracted the side of the polygon, and based on the side of the polygon, we got the area of the polygon, and with help of the area of the polygon, we got the perimeter of the polygon. And anyhow, finally, what I'm going to say is, whenever to find n roots of the complex number, the main concept is what? First, try to write the polar form of the complex number, and you add 2k pi, that is general value, to angle or amplitude of that complex number, and now multiply that 1 by n to the corresponding angle. You will get the complex, n roots of the complex number, where k is equal to running from 0 to n minus 1. This is the methodology. And how can we imagine how they located on the organoid plane? Means you imagine a circle with center as origin and radius as r power 1 by n. Then all these n roots are located on the circumference of the circle, and they act as vertices of the polygon. Clear? Suppose cube roots of unity is there. Then imagine a triangle, and all the roots are vertices of the triangle with the center as horizon. You imagine like that. So it is polygon. Triangle is also a polygon. And if it is fourth roots of unity, that is a quadrilateral, because the polygon is also a quadrilateral. If it's a pentagon, if n is a fifth roots, it's a pentagon, and if n is equal to 6, it's a hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nonagon, and it is a polygon. Like that, we can imagine the roots of the complex numbers. Hope, my friends, if you like this video, please share and subscribe my channel, and please don't forget to press the bell icon, and we'll get the continuous notifications. De Moivre's theorem is the one of the next very, very important topic in the complex numbers, and we will learn several other aspects from the De Moivre's theorem in coming lessons also. Thank you.